Welcome to the Bikini Things podcast, where we talk everything from fitness and mental health to competing and living our best life. I'm your host, LauraIFBBPro, Laura Moore-Shay, here with my co-host, LauraIFBBPro, Sammy Joe, and we're so excited to have you here with us. Let's get started. How are you, Sammy?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. Happy, what is it? Wednesday? Happy hump day.
Yeah. I kind of love that we do this in the middle of the week because it's a good preface of like what just happened the last few days and then like what's going to happen this weekend. So it's
I
like a
know.
great Wednesdays are like a good day.
Agreed. And this is going to help me be so much more consistent. I think this is going to help us get on our regular schedule with uploads. So yeah, it's going to be excellent. And we've got all of our new equipment actually is here, Sammy. So we're going to maybe like sometime you or Chris or both of you could come over and we can like set everything up. So for you listeners, Sammy and I have a whole bunch of new podcasting equipment for in-person podcasts to look really high end, really high quality. And we're super excited. It's going to be fun for us to record in person together. And then there's so many people here in SoCal that we can invite to come in person. So Jess and Tara are like the two that always come to top of mind, but there's so many others too. So it's going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah, I'm super excited. And the little photo or the photo you sent me the other day of like the podcast setup inspo, I'm like
Obsessed.
so
Right.
obsessed. I
So
can't wait.
yeah, we'll have to when we wrap up recording, we'll have to like pick out like a little time to get together because yeah, we can do the pay, we can do, all the little decor details and stuff. It's going to be a ton of fun. So we can't wait to share it with you guys. Other than new podcast announcements, how have you been, Sammy? What have you been up to?
Good, really good. Just kind of getting into the swing of things, pulling myself out of this like little rut that I've been in. And I feel like I feel like a lot of people go through this like in an off season, right? Especially after competing for a really long time. It's like I have no motivation to cook whatsoever. And I love to cook. It's like one of my favorite things. But like the thought of spending 2 hours cooking or even just like cooking dinner, I want nothing to do with it. So trying to get over that bump, like finding motivation in the gym again, like it's just that same like monotonous thing day over day, but it's like trying to find my passion and love for it again. Cause I feel like that a lot of people experience that and no one talks about it. Cause it's like, yeah, I'm a competitor and I love the gym, but right now I hate it. Like it's not fun. I feel like I have no like purpose. Right. And it's like, people might be maybe embarrassed is the word that comes to mind to like say that. Cause it's like, yeah, I'm an athlete. Yeah. This is a career and a passion of mine, but right now I don't love it. And like, that's nothing to be ashamed of. People go through, you know, phases of life like that. So I'm just trying to find like my love for it again and just figure out like what else I could be doing. I want to start doing like yoga once a week. I'm going to start doing like plyometric days too, just to spice it up, like switch it up.
Uh, yeah, we should. So we talked about this before, but we should get together for some workouts or like yoga is
Yes.
one of my favorites because we had such a good, when we did our trip to Indianapolis, we had such a good workout together. Like I still think about that where we kind of snuck into that one gym.
That's one of the best shoulder pumps I've ever had in my life.
Yeah,
I'm not
it
gonna
was a
lie.
great workout. It was a great workout. So I think about that sometimes. Like maybe you and I should align our schedules. And I have some yoga videos that I really love, and this is a great resource too for any athletes. Aloe Moves, like the workout brand Aloe, ALF,
Yeah.
aloemoves.com. Their website is it's like a Netflix of yoga. Their website. So they have all these classes and courses, and you can get a membership. I purchased a module that's now, it was an old website back in 2017 when I purchased it, but I purchased like this flexibility yoga program with about like 30-minute videos. And they are literally, Sammy, the inner hips one. It's from the yoga influencer, Ashley Galvin. Like the inner hips module will change your life the first time you do it. Like it is so intense.
Yeah.
It's like literally like I will go on the record. I will say the first time you do the inner hips like module of the flexibility yoga, it will change your life.
Yeah. I'm excited. Yeah, we definitely have to do that because I literally have just been like, I even just got a brand new training program and I'm like, yeah, this is cool. Like, because I'm kind
Yeah.
of just I'm taking this year as it comes, right? So, like, I have no specific plan or date or anything like that to step on stage. Like, I'm just in this life phase for right now. And, like, obviously, it's all still there, right? It's within an arm's reach, but I've literally just been in competition mode for the last 2 years that I need to figure out who I am without the stage and then navigate all of that. So
Yeah. Yeah. And so maybe that's where some of it comes from. But Sam, you're absolutely right. It's really challenging post season to have the same level of motivation for the gym, especially to like, let's say the reverse doesn't go perfectly, which happens to a fair number of athletes. Like who among us can say our reverse was perfect, right? So
yeah.
sometimes we're eating foods that are a little off. It affects our digestion. It affects our energy level. You might feel more sluggish. You might feel like kind of some days, especially like let's say you accidentally overeat on a reverse, which like I've done that a bunch of times. I'm sure we all have. And then you feel very sluggish. You feel too full. You don't feel good in the gym. And so your strength and the quality of your workouts isn't there. And the frustrating thing is, even though in prep we kind of lose strength during the end, we're so locked in
Yeah.
and we're so on point with our routines that our body generally, like things like digestion, et cetera, are usually working pretty well, especially early to middle of the prep when we're not maybe in a deep deficit.
Yeah.
So I get it. Yeah. It's challenging to not have that date or something like to look forward to or to be preparing for.
Yeah, for sure. I, but yeah, I'm excited. It's kind of fun navigating this and really just figuring out life all over again, really. Like having still a baseline of, what I'm doing, but still being able to like navigate. And I have ADHD like nobody's business. So I'm like excited for new things. So like the change is nice, right? It gets me excited. It keeps me going. So but yeah. And then vacation, what was that, last week or 2 weeks ago? I think that was the last the last podcast we recorded was before I went away. So that was a lot of fun. It was great to see family, spend time. It was literally the first cruise I had been on since I was like 8. So like 20 years ago. We are big cruise people now. 10 out of 10 recommend. It was honestly like too short. Chris's whole Facebook, like Instagram reel feed is cruises. So every day I get at least 3 to 6 different reels sent to me about different cruise lines. So that's where we're at with that right
I
now.
love it. I love it. Yeah, it looks like you guys were having a blast. Like I can only imagine going on a cruise with like 25 plus of your family members. That sounds like a great time. Like as
Yeah.
long as so here's the thing. I've actually never been on a cruise, Sammy.
You're coming with us next time.
Yeah, I'll come with my family. We're just not like we went on vacations and things, but for whatever reason, my parents like we're just not cruise people. We never tried it.
Yeah.
I think something about like, they just prefer like hotels or not being maybe like locked into an area or a space. So yeah, I think if it's like you've got nice amenities, I think a cruise would be like so fun.
Yeah. And I feel like I definitely still have that thought in the back of my mind of like, I'm literally stuck here. Like, there's nowhere for me to go. And then when I do dock somewhere, it's a completely different country. So, like, even then, like, you still have some ability to leave, right? To some degree. But I think there's definitely so much to do that,
Yeah.
again, like
Probably
doing it
you're
in,
not thinking that. You're not like, oh, I'm stuck here. You're just like,
yeah.
yeah.
It's like, all right, what can we do next? Like there was a nightclub we went to the first night and like we were literally out until like 2 o'clock in the morning on the boat. Like it was just so much. There's so many different things to do. The kids had a blast. They literally were just like their own humans. Obviously they are their own humans, but like we didn't see them for more than 5 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
Like we forced them to dinner 2 nights. They were there the first night, the whole dinner. The second night, they left 15 minutes into their meal because their teen activity started, but they were living their best life, like literally just like gallivanting on a boat by themselves with like a bunch of
Wow.
friends that they
I'm
met.
sure they
So,
loved it. I'm sure they had a great time. So,
yeah.
wow, that's cool. That's cool.
How about you? What have you been up to?
What are you up to? I would say training is going well. I definitely notice I'm getting a lot stronger. I've been pushing food a lot in my weight with all the gut issues and everything since the fall has come up almost 10 pounds. So it's been really good. Still a little bit of a struggle. So I'm going to get some more tests to figure out if there's like an ulcer or anything just that I don't know about going on. Other than just, treating the healing and dysbiosis, and intestinal inflammation, whatnot. Um, so That's coming up tomorrow. I do that tomorrow. And then I'll probably do a little bit more of a growth phase leading into prep. I'll probably start prep like April, May. So it's going to come up really fast. But the thing is too, Sammy, actually, like because of the gut issues, it's like I can't overeat. I just can't. Like the
Yeah.
desire for food, even junky food, is just, it's not with me anymore. It hasn't been for a while. So I'm actually like, I did it in body a couple weeks ago at the gym and it's at 11% body fat. Usually on prep, like a bikini competitor is typically like 8 to 9% on an in body. So the other thing
Yeah.
I'm thinking too is like, how extreme would my prep have to be if I'm already pretty lean? So
Yeah.
that's a good thing. That could be a really good thing. So I'm excited. And yeah, I sent my check into Will today and we'll see what he says. But we're kind of starting to look at the calendar, starting to seriously think about shows. So some of the ones we've thrown out are Tahoe, RGV that are in August. And then I
Mhm.
think there's an international one or two. There's one in Japan that Kimber actually asked me if I wanted to do with her. That one I was kind of thinking about. So I will have to talk to Will, but that would be cool because she'd be there. And then I'd assume Adam would be there. So I could just like maybe tag along.
Yeah.
Because it's a foreign country, that would be a little bit comforting.
That would be so much fun.
Yeah, right. I've always
That would
wanted to
be
do an
so
international
fun.
show. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kaylee, my like my bikini 20, she and I were planning to do the Vietnam muscle contest back in 2020 before all the shows got canceled.
Mhm.
And so we never had an opportunity to do that, but I think it'd be really fun.
Yeah. That sounds like a
So
lot of fun.
yeah, so those are the main things. I'm working on bringing on some assistant coaches to the team. That's exciting. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen this year.
Yeah.
So we got
Super exciting.
yeah.
Hey, you'll have to keep me posted about what shows you do, because if you do Tahoe, I will
Yeah,
absolutely travel
that would
to
be
Tahoe
fun.
to
Yeah,
watch.
Tahoe would be a fun one to just go hang out too.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Tahoe. So for today, we were just kind of going to have a little chat, catch up, and we also wanted to go over the Arnold predictions.
Yes.
So
That's
we've
the
got that
next big travel I think both of us have,
for both of
right?
us.
And
Yeah.
we'll both be there together,
Yep, at
booking
the
the toxic booth.
Angels booth. So that'll be fun. It'll be great to see all the girls competing in the show, wearing our suits, and just meet a lot of people as well. There's only so many people at Expo. So why don't we do this, Sammy? Why don't we pull up the list or maybe the actually what would be great is the graphic, the original graphic that came out. And there's been a few ladies that
Yes.
have dropped out, but we can go through our predictions.
That's on Instagram, right?
Yeah. And should I document our predictions, Sammy?
Yes.
So we do this bro chat style.
Yes.
Get an Excel sheet.
It's crazy. I was literally looking at the expo map the other day, and
Yeah.
there's not a lot of big names.
Really?
Yeah, like compared to what I feel like who I feel was there last year, I feel like it's not the same. Like Young LA has a massive section like off to the side, so I'm really intrigued to see what they do. I feel like it's going to be dark sport on steroids. Like how they did the house last year. They did like a little house like in the middle of the expo floor with a DJ and everything. And like I'll pull up the map too to kind of like show you how um big their like section is. It was crazy. Even Chris was like, what do they have a big area like that for? And I was like, honestly, I would love to know.
Yeah. We're gonna have to find out, Sammy.
I'm excited.
Yeah. I can ask Walker. I think he does a lot of
Young
like
LA
coordination
stuff.
and help with Young LA. I'll have to ask
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. Like, look, here, I'll show this first because it'll be quick because our predictions. We'll probably talk about that for a little bit.
I actually just got did you see the new the lean beef patty clothes they have from Young LA? I got one of their outfits.
Yes.
Like the 70s style like gym
So
clothes.
cute.
Yeah, I got the red one. It's really cute. It's a short set, so I haven't posted it on Instagram because it's been cold. But yeah, it's so
Yeah. Yeah. A friend of ours is, I don't know, I guess they have athletes. She's an athlete with them. She does like a lot of their photo shoots. So she always posts their stuff, and that stuff was literally so cute. So like literally look, it's the same size as the strongman section.
I'm wondering, do you remember what their booth or their setup looked like at the Arnold UK last year? Do you remember that?
Mm-mm.
I think I remember just because I remember seeing what Walker was posting. It was like this huge area, like it was almost like a little party or like a meet and greet, like type thing. And they had a big
Yeah.
area at the Arnold Amateur or the Arnold UK last year. So I remember Walker traveled, and so like saw his stories and stuff. So I'm guessing maybe something like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll have to go for sure. Where's our booth?
Right here. And it's so funny because it's literally, I feel like they put all of the bikini companies together.
Yeah, literally.
So it's literally us, OMG, and Angels, like all right in this
And then
little
where's
section.
in relation to that?
My God, so far, Laura.
No.
It's honestly so upsetting. It's
That
literally so far away.
face. Okay. Well,
But it is right by the entrance, which is great.
yeah. So
And then,
hey, it'll make bathroom breaks very easy.
yes. And Chris even made a really good point. He was like, because he's used to working the Arnold with BBcom, like back in the day when they did Exos. He's like, that's the door that Arnold always comes in. So maybe you guys will see him first.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
was like,
We like
silver
that.
lining.
We like that.
Silver.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we
Hopefully
have,
an Arnold Schwarzenegger sighting and easy bathroom breaks. Love it.
yeah, because we have
Okay.
the Air Force, GAT, and Muscle Egg right next to us. Those some pretty big names.
Yeah, and those look like big booths.
Yeah.
I bet those will be big. So
Yeah. So that's exciting.
yeah, those ones like the GAD and Air Force and stuff, those look like those will be really big. And then yeah, we'll kind of see. So it'll be cool.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So,
I've got an Excel sheet list pulled up on my side. So we'll save our predictions and we can like debrief on this after. We're also recording this 2 weeks prior to the Arnold, about 2 weeks prior. So not the week before.
okay. So let's see. We have. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. A lot of toxic athletes, which is really great to see.
Yeah, like almost all of them.
Majority. Yeah. I think there's one, two.
Amy wears our suits and Ariana does too, correct? And then Jordan, Ashlyn, Bonnie.
I think it's really just Tanikia, Angelica, and Maureen.
Marine's not in it.
She dropped out too.
Marine dropped out.
So then it's just, yeah, Tanikia and Angelica. And then what, Anastasia?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with her.
There.
She must be maybe a newer pro, or I'm wondering if she's international. Like the Arnold, I know a lot. Actually, let me see if I can. Is it Anastasia? What's her first name? Let me see if I can look her up on NPC News Online.
Yeah, Anastacia. I wonder if maybe she won amateur last year.
I don't think so, because wasn't that let me look real quick. Because Sam won her pro card at the Arnold, and then maybe this was the overall winner. Let me spell her last name. So that's the thing. I'm putting her.
I wonder if I can look her up on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, that's exactly who it is. Yeah, Anastasia. She goes by Stassi.
Okay.
She's the 2024 Arnold Amateur Overall Bikini.
Got it. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. And then off to this
Because
side.
she's posting Team Boss Bodies is her coach.
Okay. Yeah.
Is she local to us?
I see.
She tried to self-made, but I guess there are self-mades all over the place.
Yeah, there's self-mades all over.
Me being nosy and literally pulling it up on a map. Virginia.
Okay. Okay, cool. Well, let's jump into the prediction, Sammy.
Detective mode.
What?
Oh, like detective mode. I'm like, where's she from?
Yeah. Yeah. It's good to know. It makes it more exciting, right? It's like,
yeah, for sure. Especially, I love seeing like new faces on big stages.
yeah.
So it's super cool. I love that they do that for the overall winner. And I think you can just apply in general, right? Because Rhoda did Arnold last year and didn't do the overall, but she got her pro card, right?
No, she was the overall winner.
The overall winner. Right.
Why Rhoda did it. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's such a cool tradition that they do. And Rhoda like crushed it at the Arnold last year. I think she got what, 6th or 7th?
Yeah.
As at her pro debut at the Arnold. Like that's pretty freaking incredible. So
yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to
yeah.
see her on stage this year too.
Or actually, no, that wasn't her pro debut. Her pro debut was at the year prior. I'm mixing that up. But yeah, so jumping in, Sammy. So Laura Lee is out. Marina is out. So with that in mind, why don't we maybe start with like a top five? Like, why don't we do top five? Because actually, how many athletes would be left? We've got 10 left, I guess. So we could do top five and then like a first call out, second call out, most likely.
Yeah.
So how would you put them in order? It's tough, right?
This is so hard because I'm trying to think of like the season that everyone had last year. And
Yeah, I
literally
think
everyone had
honestly,
such a good season.
I know. And I think I'm gonna, because actually I would say a little bit of like a dark horse is I would say Ari is a little bit because she had such a year like last year. I know she talked about how she kind of like lost some muscle size, and I feel like since she's worked with James, she's really like put on a lot of muscle and like a lot of pop, which is
Yeah.
great. So I feel like her placing at the Olympia in her season this past year isn't representative of like how good of an athlete she is. So
Mhm.
I feel like she can kind of, I think a lot of the other girls will kind of fit into their order or placings like we saw at the Olympia. But it's like
Yeah.
her, I don't know where she might end up.
Yeah. I feel like, and not in this order because I'm still very unsure of like what the order will be. But I do think top five, we're going to see Ariana, Jasmine, because she was second at Olympia,
She was third.
third. And then this is so hard. I honestly like even just picking this top five randomly, like,
Sure.
how do the judges do this?
I know. Well, that's the thing too, is like we're gonna put out our predictions and honestly, like we're probably gonna go somewhat similar to what the Olympia placings were, because it's not that big of a time difference. Obviously, there's a lot that can happen, but it really comes down to how people look on the day. Like
Uh-huh.
that day, if you get sick the week before, that can really affect things. Or like let's say, you know, how many shows you did prior. It's like, is your body tired? Is your body more fresh? Like, are you reversing into the show? Are you carving up? Are you still dieting into the show? I mean, all these ladies look amazing. They're some of the top athletes. So it's like, hopefully all of them are having amazing preps, but you never know. Like every single prep is different. And what people share on Instagram may not be the full picture of like what's actually going on with them.
100%.
So I agree with you, Sammy. Okay, so I'm just going to put some bold predictions out there, but by bold, I'm probably going to follow bold. So that's kind of where my mind goes. So if we're kind of deferring to say the Olympia order, and also too, we could even pull up how some of these girls look right now. I
Uh-huh.
would I'm going to put Jazzy in first because she was third at Olympia. So
Yeah.
Amy was fourth, right? So I would then put, and I think that's like, it's such a toss up and it could even be someone else too, right? Like, someone like Ashlyn, Angelica, Tamika, Vanya, like all these girls, like all of them look good.
Uh-huh.
So Jordan looks great. Like Jordan, she has to me like more muscle than I've ever seen her with in some of her updates. So let's say Jazzy and Amy, and then from there, um, I'm gonna go. Oh, this is tough. I'd put Vanya next. She would be the next one in order,
Yeah.
and then from there, I would say I'm gonna do Ashlyn. I think she was right behind Vanya, and to me, I think Ashlyn and Vanya maybe have a little more development than where Ariana's bouncing back from. Not
Yeah.
sure. I think from there it's probably going to be like Maria. It's gonna. My gosh, it's so tough. It's like Maria, Ariana, Tamika, Angelica, Jordan could all easily be in that top five too. So
Yeah. I feel like Maria did really well at the Olympia as well. I think she was in top 10, right?
Maria was, I think so, or no? I thought she was. Yeah, no, she was seventh. She was
Yeah.
seventh.
I was going to
Right.
say, because she's an arms race athlete. So I was watching that
Okay.
closely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is so freaking hard. I guess obviously, like, we're going on, just like what we see. So being on show day is a little bit different. But
Yeah.
so how many is that? Is that five?
That's four. That's
I'm
four.
like,
Okay. So then, okay. Like literally my predictions are just going to be the Olympia order basically. So like, let's say Maria. And then from there, okay. So maybe it's more of like who's in the top five. I don't know if, these girls could all change orders. And then that would put in the second call out, that would put Tamika, Angelica, Anastasia, Jordan, and I guess Ariana. But it's like, I don't know. And this is really tough, Sammy. This is really tough.
what I do really like about the Arnold is that it's so exclusive that there is literally only 10 girls. I
Yeah.
think that's what I admire the most about the Arnold, because it's like, that's how, like, don't get me wrong, like the Olympia is a huge accomplishment. But after talking to Tara about Olympia and how she was like, if you don't make top 10, it's like, it's, you feel empty. And that like really sat with me. And I like, ever since then, and this is completely off topic, but like, ever since then, I like started to think to myself, like, is Olympia truly a big goal of mine anymore? Because I feel like I would take all of this effort, all of this time to get there and just feel so empty. Because it's like, do I feel like I could push myself to make it to the Olympia? Yes. Am I at the point where I'd make top 10? No. And that's just me being honest, you know? So it's like this crazy feeling of like, you get there and it's this high and then it's over like that, which is crazy. So
Yeah.
I feel like the Arnold is so much more exclusive and like such like an honor, you know,
Yeah.
because of
Well,
how tight knit it
you had to
is.
apply and be chosen. So it's, yeah, it's like, I mean, not that Olympia isn't exclusive too. It's a different process, but yeah, I mean, you're right, Sammy. It's cool because then all 10 women still get to present at finals, whereas the Olympia, you only get to present if you're in that top 10. So it's a really cool show. And I imagine all of these ladies were super excited to, to find out that they were in this. I remember seeing Tara shortly after she got chosen for the Arnold UK last year. And I remember how excited she was.
Yeah.
So I know this, I mean, this is a huge honor for all of them. And I know they're all going to bring really great looks. So I think, and honestly, I would say this is maybe even a more competitive lineup than last year. Like, I feel like the
Yeah.
Arnold lineups have gotten, I mean, they've always been really good because I remember a few years ago, you had like a lot of the OGs and heavy hitters in it. Like, there were years where it was like Janet, Angelica, like Issa, or you'd have like Jen, Maureen, Laura Lee, like all, like a few years ago, I remember when I was working the toxic booth at the Arnold, it was like Jen, what year was that? Maybe 2022, Jen, Maureen, and Laura Lee were all in the Arnold together. It's like,
Hmm.
you have some really competitive shows, but this is a very competitive lineup. And without, the really dominant athletes like Laura Lee or Maureen, and to be fair, Amy is very dominant too, and Jazzy. So it's just going to be very interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. And I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong too, but this is a first time for a lot of these girls too, isn't it?
Yes, this would be the first for Maria, the first for Anastasia, Jordan, Ashlyn, Ariana, and Jazzy. I'm pretty sure has done it before. I think she did it a few years ago when she was under Jamie,
Okay.
if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a lot of like
That's a
new
lot of new
faces
faces.
first time,
A
which
lot
is
of new faces.
really
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, it's one of those things. I think it's almost like the changing of the guard a little bit. Like, as some of these athletes, like, for example, like Jen's not in it, right? Like, maybe, I don't know. I haven't paid attention to whether she's spoken about competing recently. It's like, but maybe she'll compete more. Maybe she's,
Yeah. I think
done.
the last I saw it was that she was taking some time. So I don't know
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
much time is some time, but
Jen is really young, so she has the time to just like live her life and whatnot. But it's interesting as some of, like, an athlete like her doesn't apply. It leaves room for some of these up and comers. So it's definitely exciting to see. And for athletes, yeah, like Maria, Jordan, who are brand new to this, it's going to be exciting. Ashlyn, like, it's going to be really exciting, to see them on that Arnold stage and see how they do.
yeah, especially too with Laura Lee not doing it and the title being just completely open.
Yeah, yeah. And it was a 1 point difference between her and Amy last year. Let's not forget that. Like, it was really, in being there at prejudging, I thought Amy had it at prejudging, but I think Laura Lee kind of filled out. She had a little more pop at finals, and obviously as a pro, you're getting judged at both prejudging and finals, and it's never done until it's done. So it's gonna be, I think between Jazzy and Amy, I think it will, and any of these girls too, it's gonna be a battle. It's for sure gonna be a battle, and it's gonna be
Yeah.
fun. So actually, a little random prediction, Sammy. What do you think about suit colors? Are we going to see anyone do something dramatic? Or I guess you might know some of the tea, so maybe I should ask you. But
Of Shopify?
yeah, in for any suit color surprises.
Feel like and this is me because like I haven't really looked. I haven't seen names. When I see big names pop up in like the recent order forms, I definitely go and look. I would never spill anyone's secrets, but I feel like at this point in the game, people have their suit color, right? And it's just small modifications that they make for it to feel new and like, you know, different. But do feel like a lot of these girls, and I mean, naturally, just in this photo, you can see like we're going to see just the standard blues and reds. I don't think we're going to see anything outside of the box. I don't really think we're going to see like purples, pink, greens. Like, I feel like a lot of these
Yeah.
athletes just naturally gravitate to tones of blues and reds. So
Yeah.
if they do
There's,
something
I
new
don't
or
know,
different,
her might wear purple, right? That's kind of her
she
signature.
does. Yeah, she goes between purple and green. So I think that will be, but like, and we won't see a lot of it, right? But
You're, I mean, you're absolutely right with what we see here. It's like, I think a lot of these ladies have found their color or a few colors that work for them. Like Tamiki is one, for example. Actually, I'll be excited to see what she wears. She wore a few different colors last year, and she's got a beautiful, beautiful skin tone that really can work with. Like, I really loved her yellow suit last year. I know that's like
was
crazy, or maybe
just going
sounds
to say
crazy.
that.
I loved it. I loved the yellow. So it just pops so well. It's like, so we'll see. I'd be curious to see what she wears. Jordan will probably rock maybe some variation of like her teal or her like aquamarine.
Yeah.
Or maybe, I don't know, she had purple at Sasquatch last year, the fuchsia.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
maybe she'll mix it up, but probably I would assume she'll stick with kind of her Olympia look.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I think Ashlyn has her blue locked in. She does the Velvet Royal, if I
Mhm.
remember correctly, which looks really good on her.
Yeah, and then Ariana does the red
The Velvet.
velvet.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So
then I
pretty.
think Maria did Velvet Red for Olympia as well.
I thought so too. I thought so too. What about Amy? Is she sticking with red? I feel like she's mentioned or like she's asked on her stories, like, oh, should I switch back to blue a little bit?
Yeah. I don't know. Because her variations of red, like she's got like three different variations and they're all very, very similar. But I think she did all of last year in red. So maybe she does switch it to blue
Yeah,
for
I
this
I
year.
just remember her. I feel like I remember after the Olympia, her posting some throwbacks of like her first Olympia in 2022 when she wore blue, and back when
Yeah.
she was a new pro, she was wearing blue a lot. So she looks. I mean, she's got the dark hair, so she can pull off so many colors.
Yeah.
So it's always. I think it's always exciting when you see a top athlete just refresh their look a little bit or switch it up, like
Yeah.
kind of how like Jazzy when because she had a little bit of a break from competing. I think between 2 and like and what was it, end of 2023. And prior to that, she was wearing her hair short. She was wearing different suit colors. And then when she came back, and she, came back with a bang, like I think it was her and Ariana at a show at the end of 2023. And it was really close between them, but she had her blue. She had her hair longer. And I just thought, I think this look is really great for her. I think it's really, really pretty.
Yeah.
So it'll be exciting to see everyone.
Yeah. And I'm excited to see what trends come from it too. Like, we'll kind of recap this like
Yeah.
later in the year to see like what the big, especially to like depending on who wins, right? So like Laura Lee's Velvet Royal was super popular after the Olympia because it was the winning suit. So I'm really excited to see like what the winning suit ends up being and then
Yeah,
seeing how the trends unfold from there based on the winning suit too. So
for
there's
sure.
a lot of these girls are used as inspo naturally. So to see like which one it kind of narrows in on is going to be really exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Or even just think of it this way, Sammy, from posing. Like we're going to see, well, probably this is the first big show of the year, really. All the other shows kind of kick off after this. And so we're going to see if they've switched up their routines, how long their routines are. And that's going to likely set some of the trends we see. Sometimes, and Jazzy is known for this too, because she's been a top athlete for a long time. It's like sometimes you have a top athlete that comes up with a new transition or move that we haven't really seen on stage, and they do it really beautifully, and it becomes very popular. Like the
Yeah.
hand on thigh is kind of, I would credit that with I think Janet and Angelica were maybe the first ones to do that, I believe. And then Laura Lee also started kind of doing it too, if I'm remembering correctly. And that became kind of the hand on thigh transition that like so many of us do. So I think we're going to see some trends, not just with the looks and the suits, but also with the stage presentation.
Yeah. And then wasn't it Laura Lee last year that incorporated like the salsa into her, like
A
the
little bit like
hand? Yeah.
her initial transition where she kind of comes out and she would like kind of sweep her arm, step back and put her hand on her hip and then kind of walk forward, like stuff like that. Not, I don't think everyone can pull off that transition because
100%.
she's basically just standing there facing the judges, not even very twisted at some points and just like, hey, check me out. Like your average
Yeah.
NPC competitor cannot like, or your average pro cannot just hop up on stage and be like, hey guys, check
Here
out
I
I'm
am.
amazing. Yeah, here it is. Here's the full width of my waist. Don't I look great?
Yeah.
Not everyone can do that.
Yeah. So we'll have to recap that for our NPC competitors when we do the Arnold recap of like, maybe we do like a do's and don'ts or like, hey, this is exclusive for pros or hey, this is exclusive for this person. And then like, hey, this can be a trend that can work for other people dependent on your physique, right? So maybe we do like a little recap of that and kind of study routines
For sure. For sure.
and go through that. That'll be really cool because I
Yeah.
feel like just because you see someone do it doesn't mean you should. And
Yeah. Or
that's a
it's like
big,
just because your favorite pro is doing a 360-degree spin on stage does not mean you need to in your routine.
yeah, when you just started wearing heels 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and luckily, I think the spins are kind of going away. I think they had their moment, but because our pro routines have gotten shorter, I think the spins have disappeared for the most part. So, except for Vanya, Vanya is known for hers. I don't think hers will go away.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I hear that more often than not of like, what? I saw this person do it. You are not that person. That is not you. Please
Yeah.
don't.
Yes, the person you saw do that is a pro who can take 90 seconds on stage to do a routine if they choose to.
Yeah.
You get about 10 to 15 seconds. So
Yeah.
you can't do the same number of transitions. Yeah,
Yeah. And not to mention, too, they've been doing this for 10 years and you're 4 weeks late into starting posing. So we need the basics first.
first. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, it's always great to have, that inspo and that motivation and things like that. So by no means am I trash talking anybody or anything like that. But sometimes we just need to take a step back and humble ourselves of like, what are we actually capable of achieving and what makes us look our best on stage, right? We always have to think of like ourselves. We can have that inspo and kind of add that flair, but it's always
Yeah.
really good to stay true to yourself in your own routine.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's like, yeah, you should never try to copy someone else. You just have to be the best version of you. And I was actually chatting with a client this morning on the phone, and she's somebody who hasn't competed yet. Working to get her ready to compete for the first time, and she was like struggling with comparing herself to pros and women she was seeing on Instagram. And I'm like, look, like you're so new at it. Yeah, it's like you're at a point with bodybuilding competing and she felt like she should be comparing herself to these women. And it's like, look, it's like you don't know what you don't know. You can't compare yourself to them. It's not if it's only going to make you miserable if you're comparing yourself to somebody who's been competing for years, right? And
Yeah.
has made it their lifestyle for years. You're not at the same place as they are. So it's not a fair comparison. It's only going to leave you feeling self-conscious and feeling bad about yourself. So yeah, sometimes it's like we don't know what we don't know when we're learning. So I think that's a great idea, Sammy. We should definitely break down the Arnold and maybe we can get some like in-person videos. I'm sure we'll get to see and like photograph some of our athletes in their suits
Yeah.
over there. So that'll be really cool too. Maybe we can include some of that.
That'll be a lot of fun. We can also talk about like what trends we see in like people's preferences and stuff like that when we're doing fittings and stuff like that. So that'll be cool to kind of just predict what the year is. Cause I feel like, I don't know, as a designer, green was really big last year. So I'm excited to see
Yeah. Well,
how that shifts.
would you say that green was inspo from Jen's winning suit at the end of 2023?
Do you think so? Because velvet teal was probably one of our biggest suits last year. So I think people were doing different variations of that. And then the more velvet colors we came out with, the more people were starting to like deep dive into different variations. So
Yeah. Cool. Cool. Yeah, I'm excited for the trends this year. I definitely want to try like a bright, like shamrock Kelly green suit. I think that would be like very bright, like not a lot of AB. It's like super, like basically a green version of my blue suit. Something like that I think would be really cool with dark hair. Right?
Yes.
Don't you think?
I'm so excited. I'm like, literally, my mind is racing.
Yeah. Because that was the color. That was a very popular color when I started competing in 2017. Back then, like Ashley wore that color a lot. She still does wear a lot of green, but like that bright green is so pretty. It's just not
Yeah,
worn that often. So I think, all of these colors, they're all going to have their moments. And as these top girls switch up their colors, like all of us are going to kind of follow along and take inspo from it.
for sure.
So,
So
okay, cool.
exciting.
Well, I feel like we covered this pretty well. Is there anything else we want to chat about as far as the Arnold, anything like that? If you're at the
Nothing.
Arnold and you want to come say hi, take a photo, please come say hi. We would love to meet you. We'd love to say, hey, we appreciate you, the listener. If you're actually listening and tuning in each week, we appreciate you. We'd love to say
Yes.
hi. We'd love to give you a hug, take a photo. So don't be afraid to come and find us.
100%. And don't be afraid. Like, if we look busy, please still stop us. Like, the Toxic Angels booth can get very busy during the Arnold because we're doing fittings, we're, sending fabric swatches, we're doing the whole nine. But please,
Yeah,
yeah, please don't feel like you're being a bother or anything like that. We would love to see you guys and take photos and stuff like
yeah,
that. So,
absolutely. So with all that said, thank you so much for listening. If you're listening on audio, don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, share with a friend. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you're not already, hit that like button, share with a friend as well so the podcast can grow. We want to bring you guys better episodes, better guests, more topics, and the more you support and share, the more we can do that. So as always, thank you so much for your support, and we'll catch you in the next one.